Jim Gabor's footage. That's right, give him a round of applause. That was good, that was really good. That's just a taste. Just a taste. What you're gonna get in this hour. But before we get into that, I want to welcome a lot of people who haven't been to Loyola Music Industry Forum before. I see a lot of new faces. We meet every week to talk about the cutting edge of the creative industries, whether that be music or film or whatever that is, to sort of talk about what's changing in the world of these industries. Now, we invite our students up to come and make announcements about any shows, programs, events, bands, concerts, fashion shows, videoing, interviews, whatever you're doing that you need people to know about, please come on up. Take your part to the side of the stage. Isabella, would you please start us off here?
Hey, everybody. Is this on? Hello? Hello? Oh, okay. Can't hear it. Anyway, okay. My name's Isabella. I have two announcements for you. The first one is this Friday night at 12 Bar. The band that I'm managing, Quarter Trio, they're a blues funk rock band. They're playing at 11 p.m. Doors are at 9. You guys should come check it out. I handed out a little white piece of paper. And then secondly, I do album reviews or EP reviews, whatever you have, music reviews we're trying to do local music, and it can be any genre. I started off with doing more rock type stuff, but you can email me at isabellamarie@hotmail.com, and that's Isabella with a Z and one L, isabellamarie@hotmail.com. Just email me your band name, contact info, and files or links where I can listen to your music, and we'll put it up on Loyola Music News. Thanks, guys.
Hello, everyone. Some of you may be familiar with the band Elephant Skeleton, but they're no longer. They're actually the backup band for this guy named Denton Hatcher. And he and Bantam Foxes are playing a show at Cafe P this week. They just released a new EP, and they're really cool guys.
It's on Wednesday, this Wednesday. It's right after the parades. There's one at 6:30 and there's one at 7. Both are uptown, so y'all should definitely mosey your way over to Cafe P. It is happy hour all night. How can you deny that? Come on, guys. So, yeah. Wednesday, February 15th, this Wednesday, Cafe P.
Also, you should watch music news, loyolamusicnews.wordpress.com. Yeah.
The band that I'm managing the session, they're a modern jazz quintet. They got a show Saturday night from 8 to 11 at Three Muses on Frenchman. It should be really cool, really good music. Come and check it out. Oh, it's free too. So.
Haven't done this in a while. So I actually had 3 announcements, but they just stole one of mine. I'm Colin. I'm in a band called Bantam Foxes, so you probably haven't heard of because we only played one show. But Wednesday's all night happy hour at Cafe Britannia. It's free. It's going to be really awesome. Pals, Denton Hatcher, and us. Tomorrow we're releasing a single and a music video and a bunch of other stuff to accompany it. Check out bantamfoxes.com. It'll be up there. And then also on Lundy Gras at Circle Bar, which finally reopened, if you didn't know that. Big Rock Candy Mountain, Bantam Foxes, and Sports and Leisure, who's also a new band, and they're pretty freaking awesome as well. So that show's $5, and it's right after Orpheus, and it's on the parade route. Come on, you don't have an excuse.
Hey guys, can we get everyone to scoot into the center of their rows, please? We got a high volume of people. If you wouldn't mind standing up, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Scooting in towards the center of your rows. I'm not asking you to kiss your neighbor. Please, some people are. Thank you very much. Awesome.
Is this really from us? Is this from us? I don't want to push.
Thank you very much. We have some more room now for those people in the back there.
Let's just say it's from us.
All right, on with announcements. PJ.
I may be going out on a limb here, but does anybody here write music? If you do, you should come to the Songwriters Anonymous meeting on this Thursday at 7 p.m. in John Rankin's office, which is room 234. Yes, so I hope to see you there.
Hello, everyone. If you have contacted NOLA Sound about playing at one of our training sessions, or if you are in NOLA Sound, be looking out for an email from me later today. It's extremely important. Thank you.
All right, important email.
This Friday at the Cypress, there'll be a pop punk show. The first band's called the Upper Two, and it's a two-piece girl band that sings and plays ukulele. And another band called Losing Streak, which is great pop punk. This band called The Silent Game, which is a band that I looked up to 2 years ago when I was in my very first band. Then my band, which is Define Our Pride, which is basically it's pop punk in a drop tuning, so it has a little bit of heavier sound. And then Too Soon for Cemetery, which is another really great pop punk band that we're really good friends with. All local, starts at $7, $8. Come support your local scene.
Hey y'all, just wanted to say thanks to everyone who came out on Saturday to the little party that Chinquapin Records and Artificial threw. We're throwing a series of events for Mardi Gras. We're doing one at Circle Bar with Native America and a band from Houston called Buxton. They're really great. Then on Friday, Sun Hotel, Box and the Hound, and Country Club are playing at Pertania. And then Saturday, Donovan and Wolfington and a whole bunch of other bands are playing. Cattywampus, Big Rock Candy Mountain, one more, Young Mammals are at Britannia. All the shows are $5 and they're all close to the parade routes. Hope to see you there. Thanks.
Hey guys, how's it going? At the Howlin' Wolf this week, we got all free shows starting after the parades with 3 chances to see the Grammy Award-winning Rebirth Brass Band with support from the Revivalist, Papa Grows Funk. Also, you got a chance to see George Porter and Dumpster Funk. All free shows all week.
You're a very popular guy.
Hey y'all, I'm Dominique Lejeune. We're putting on a little last-minute Valentine's Day show tonight at my friend's house at 2502 Broadway, but it's really the corner of Nelson and Broadway in what is called the Space Bar, and it is a renovated, remodeled, top-of-the-line venue now. And it's going to be the premiere show there. Tonight it's going to be Jack Donovan of Habitat performing solo, myself, and then PJ Bond, our friend who's on tour and he needs some help getting some gas money. So if you want to do something, come over at 8 and we'll be playing some music for you.
Why? Okay, if y'all didn't know, when I say why, you're supposed to respond in kind. Why? All right, so 2 things. 1, I'm Royal. I'm not Taz. Not Taz. So I'm a little bit shorter, a little bit more muscular, and I don't have the raspy voice, and I don't rap. Second thing, what I do is, I'm with Loyola Music News. I do interviews. Whoop! I do interviews. I do album reviews for more hip-hop, R&B, jazz focus. So if you have that sort of thing, if you're looking to be interviewed, if you're looking to get your music out to people, and actually have some kind of marketing or promotion, come talk to me or call me. My number is 832-642-1004. You can also email me, zpierre05@gmail.com.
What's up with the Cypher interview?
The Cypher interview, you gotta blame Angela. I don't know where she's at, but you blame Angela. But as soon as she gets that to me, I'm gonna get that to everybody out here. All right, so in closing, why?
Hey everyone, got a couple shows. Coyotes have a couple shows coming up. One at the Blue Nile, that's gonna be this Saturday with Mississippi Railco and Strange Rue. It's gonna be super fun. That's at the Blue Nile. And then over at Cafe P on Lundy Gras, it's going to be Coyotes, Mississippi Roco, and then Rebirth Brass Band, so everybody can get down. And then if y'all want to go to like Bass Drum of Death and Quintron, that's after it. So yeah, hope to see y'all guys out there.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm Ferris from the progressive rock band Torgo, and we are playing with a band called Mara in Baton Rouge at a venue called HTGT. And I'm aware that most of you guys don't live in Baton Rouge, so I'm not expecting all of you to go to it. But if you have friends or acquaintances in Baton Rouge that are into like progressive music or metal or like hardcore or anything like that, pass the word along to them because it's going to be a really good show. And if anybody would like to join us, we're going to be taking a few cars there, so just come see me or one of the other guys in the band. There's a few of them over there. Raise your hands so they can see you. They're real friendly, good-looking people. Yes, the Torgo Mobile. So just see one of us, and we'd love to give anybody a ride there that wants to go. We'll be coming back the same day of the gig. So it's Friday at HTGT in Baton Rouge. Doors are at 7, so it's probably going to be the best show of any band all semester in the world. So you guys have a good evening.
Jay never makes announcements, so please, Jay Crudy, everybody.
So, I realize a lot of you are students from out of town and may not know much about the traditions and kind of customs of Mardi Gras. So one thing I wanted to tell you about, if you're a bass player especially, there's a bass parade that happens at 3 a.m. We meet at the R Bar on 3 a.m. on Lundy Gras. So if you're a bass player, we parade through the quarter, bring your instrument, join the parade, and we just kind of meander through the different clubs on Frenchman and whatnot.
Well, yeah.
So all bass players invited 3 a.m. the R Bar. Thanks.
Hey guys, so Zulu's coming up, which means Saturday the 18th is going to be DJ Blend, and then Sunday Paul Oakenfield, and then Monday Knife Party and 12th Planet. So if you're looking to buy tickets, I'm selling them, so come contact me, or otherwise I just hope to see you guys there.
Hey guys, the Electronic Takeover Masquerade is this Thursday after the Muses Parade. We've got a Yesayer DJ set, Swiss and Christoph, the rest of the Takeover family. This is our second year. Last year we did a Passion Pit DJ set. It's a great time. So Eiffel Society right after the Muses Parade on Thursday. Also, Friday, if you're not busy, go check out G-Eazy at Ampersand. I think there's super cheap pre-sale tickets online right now. So, thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. I'm Victor. How you guys doing? All right, I'm a music producer, songwriter, and right now I'm working on a producer documentary for producers that attend Loyola. So if you're a producer, please contact me. Additionally, if you guys edit video, if anybody edits video or anything like that, contact me so we can get this out. And we're looking to create a beat showcase at the end of the year. So if you guys are interested, let me know. All right, see ya.
All right. One last thing, if you don't have Valentine's Day, someone who emailed me about songwriting during Valentine's Day? Someone sent me an email. I didn't check the name, sorry. But I did make a mental note that last year, for those of you who remember, the songwriters got together on Valentine's Day and just sort of sang our screw love kind of songs and whatnot. And if that's what you're into, we're doing it again this year. So tomorrow night, come by Rankin's office, 7 o'clock. We'll have the mic set up. We'll have all the chocolate and fondue you could eat. Just kidding. But, the spirit will be there. And we'll be doing some, heartbreak songs. So come on by. But that's not why we're here. We're here because our own, the Loyola Music Industry's Jim Gabor has done a fantastic job over 10 years?
33.
33 years. A long time coming. So I'll spare you guys since we're running short on time, we'll go ahead and get right to it. Please give a round of applause for our own Mr. Jim Gabor.
Well, I think I have a mic on right here.
Yeah, all right then.
Those of you who know me understand that I'm no historian. I'm just a storyteller in words and in pictures. But I've done a lot of research and a lot of firsthand experience with these Mardi Gras Indians over these last 33 years, and I can give a fairly accurate representation of them. I can also say that Mardi Gras Indians have had a serious impact on New Orleans since its very inception, since like the day that it actually started coming down. A lot of this is from Bienville's diary. The explorer Bienville, who actually found the town, landed in 1699 on Mardi Gras Day. He named the little stream where he was going to anchor his boat Mardi Gras Bayou. And who was standing by Mardi Gras Bayou but a huge herd of Choctaw, Chitimacha, and Homas Indians, a big line of braves. So Bienville goes over to this line of braves and he starts giving them the usual glass trinkets, shiny things, and he made big friends with these guys. And in his diary, he talks about a cluster of women and children hanging behind them. So they stayed friends over about 20 years. And in 1718, he asked his good friends, the Braves, where he should put New Orleans. And they said, you see that big bend, that big crescent over there in the river? You should put it right there. And he did. He started building huge structures, all this permanent settlement. And it was only 8 months later that he discovered that he'd been building his city in the middle of a huge floodplain. And the water started rushing through, and he had to build earthworks all around his settlement. And you begin to wonder about the guy. Why did my Indian buddies do this to me? What happened to our friendship? Well, it turns out Bienville, who could navigate huge seas with really primitive navigational instruments, who could fight with a sword and defeat the English, Bienville wasn't so smart when it came to social things. He hadn't really looked at the tribes. He didn't realize that behind each of these lines of Indian warriors, the women were actually looking at him rather strangely. All three of these tribes, Homas, Chitimacha, and Choctaw, were all matriarchal. All of the women were the chiefs, and the guys in the front were the lowlifes. He'd been doing deals all this time for 19 years with the wrong people, and as we all know, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and I think our city was founded on a practical joke by a bunch of very mad women. So there was one other event. Again, this ties in Mardi Gras and Indians with the heart of the city's culture. When Abraham Lincoln put out the Emancipation Proclamation and freed all the slaves, thousands of slaves in New Orleans ran away into the swamps outside the city, knowing, of course, that it would be some time before the Union troops could come in, and it was 2 years, before the Union troops could come in and enforce the Emancipation Proclamation. So they ran out into the swamps, and there we were 150 years later, the Homas, the Chitimacha, the Choctaw Indians, who were very happy to bring them in, show them how to get food, show them how to exist, and didn't care what color skin was, or didn't even know what a slave was. So 2 years later, the Union troops come in, the Indians come back into the city, and the only model they had for a free society were the Indian tribes they'd been living with for 2 years. And they formed small tribal units around neighborhood grocery stores, around bars, around social locations. And every year, they would run between their bar and the next bar to try to open up their area of influence. There were a lot of fighting and a lot of this going on, but the only day they could go out and do this kind of run and mask so no one could see who they were was Mardi Gras Day, because that was the only day in New Orleans that it was legal for an African American to wear a mask. So once again, they tied the Indians to Mardi Gras, and that's grown on to what we have today all these years later. There's a certain structure to an Indian tribe, where just like the cowboys and Indians, there is a young person who runs out in front of the tribe called a spy boy, who's looking for the next tribe. Then there's a flag boy who has a large staff to signal back to the third chief, second chief, first chief that he's found a tribe, and they can go up. And now, instead of like in the 60s and 70s, shooting each other to open up their tribal area, they try to outdance and outdress each other. That's part of what's changed over the years. However, and one of the reasons I've followed the Indians so long is that they have never, until very recent years, ever received the sort of recognition that they are owed for their real and true art. I put this up, took it with my phone a couple of days ago. This is St. Charles Avenue. You probably all walked by it when you drove by it when you were coming here tonight. That's the mansion that happened on St. Charles Avenue. Just 14 blocks away from that, Chief Monk Boudreaux of the Golden Eagles, who is one of the absolute cultural treasures of this city, lives in his mansion, and here it is. If it will go. It's not going. Here we go.
On the fire behind a Magnolia Bridge, play for Hollywood, Stay uptown and you got low down with. Boy, I got my band who's talking about hey,
Well, I mostly have my son, my grandchildren, you know, because I'm mostly about the kids, because they keep the tradition going, because they, you know, they into it, they down into it. Like when I was coming, my dad, you know, he was doing it, and I got involved in it, you know, when I was like 12, 13 years old. But, you know, like we bring the kids out now, soon they born, you know, when they get out, because my little granddaughter, she was only like, I think she was like 7 weeks old when they brought her out.
I guess it was back early 90s. I was on a tour, the New Orleans Review, going through Europe. We did 6 weeks in Europe. There was Dr. John and Wild Magnolias, Zachary Richard, Eddie Bow, just a ton of bands. And Dr. John's band backed up everybody. And Monk and Wild Magnolias was on the trip. And I remember one night we got off the gig and we were traveling on a bus. We were all on a big tour bus together. And it was about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We were traveling overnight, and the bus was rowdy. Everybody was, you know, after the gig, everybody was still wound up. And Monk sat down at a table, a little table in the front of the bus, and he started pounding out this Indian beat, and he started chanting. And little by little, everybody started getting quiet. One by one, everybody got quiet and just started checking it out. And before you know it, it was dead silent. And Monk rolled for about 40 minutes straight. I mean, just chanting, his eyes would roll back in his head, and he was just gone. He had the whole bus in a trance. And that's when I knew, I said, wait a minute, this is really for real. I mean, it was the spirit, the Indian spirit, it was there. He had channeled this into the bus. And that's when I knew I got to do something with this guy someday.
This was in a city park at the Little Round Casino at midnight under a full moon. And again, Monk is one of the most benevolent and wonderful guys you ever want to meet. But it wasn't always this way where you could walk with your children. It was there were some very hard times when even up until the 60s. Yeah, I got to get this to go down. There you go. This program is not responding. I understand. You got to live with me. This is not mine. All right. So at one point, and this was I don't remember, somewhere in the early '80s, we knew that the tribes weren't getting along again. Monk's tribe even wasn't getting along with the fellow tribe, with the Wild Magnolias. The Wild Magnolias weren't getting along with the Creole Wild West. And everybody thought, well, this could get nasty again. But in a wonderful fit of inspiration, we invited all three tribes to come to Tipitina's on an off night when it wasn't open. We bought them a keg of beer and said, let's all sit down and talk about this. And while we're here, we'll have all three tribes do Indian practice, which is basically call and response, everybody practicing dancing, and each of the tribes showing off how they danced while their leaders stood at the bar and shot the bull about what went on in the old days and how the tribes run. This has a much skinnier version of me in the midst of it. Oh, wrong one, so I did it again. Here we go, meeting of the tribes.
Flag, he's running. After they spread out all the way back to the third, after they running, they spread out. Okay, the chief is back there by himself. They running, they looking for other gangs. This is the old time where they looking for other gangs to meet them and to show how beauty it is, you know, the beauty and the time that they put into their suits. Then they meet everybody, they dance, they play, they send them on and on back to the chief and get to the chief. The two chiefs is out there playing, you know, having a good time. Yeah. And then show it what it was. One time it was trouble, but now we blended out where Indians all know each other. Downtown, uptown didn't make no difference. You never see two Indians fight.
How long ago did it change from being the violent tradition into being more this way?
Well, the violence, when I first started dancing, it was violent. Still violent. It was, how long ago was that? When I was doing hip. Right. Well, you had Indians that was still in the old way of doing it. Right. So it started to change. Change came along. The Indians started going out for beauty. They wasn't going out for the violent way of like they used to, when somebody heard the Indian was coming, they'll close their storm doors or whatever, you know, their windows and all that, bring their children inside and let them pass, and then they come back out and enjoy Mardi Gras. Now it's different. Now when they say Indians coming, the people come outside to see them. See, we don't only look for game. We bring carnival to the little side streets. We bring Mardi Gras to people who can't get out and see. Like the old lady came in a wheelchair. One time we came to a poacher. My mama, she do the same. She come to the chair to the poacher and all that. But we bring Mardi Gras to the people who can't get out. We go on the little back streets, the little side streets. We turn all in here and turn all out there. But at the same token, we still looking for other game.
So this is Indian practice. There's one of the other characters besides the chiefs and the spy boy and flag boy is the wild man. And notice the wild man always wears horns. And there's a couple in this crowd that are indeed seriously wild men. But this was at Tipitina's. The tribes actually made up. There's another wild man, perfectly blonde wild man. Things got a lot better after that. This is Bo from the Wild Magnolias talking about how this tradition of beating comes about.
Your own costume. You know, that's where they got their pride. Although they had help, they wouldn't let nobody know that they had help. They say, I made the costume. That's where they get their glory from, you know, when after everything is dead. So the beadwork and the sequencing, the rhinestone work, it's all a tradition from way back, and they've been doing it to say, I made my costume. And for you to say you make a costume, you must know how to bead, and you gotta know how to rhinestone, you gotta know how to work your velvet, you gotta know how to decorate. So all of it comes in general into making a costume, you know, knowing how to do your own beadwork.
You draw these designs too?
Now that's the only thing that a lot of us get other people to do. Because most of us not artists, you know, I mean, in the drawing sense. So we get maybe a neighbor or a friend that live in the neighborhood or somebody that we know to draw our different patches. We'll give them a picture or an idea of what we want to draw, and they'll draw the patch. Now you got some people that may draw the patch too small and a little hard to work with, you know, in beading. So what we do, we trace around it and enlarging it, you know. But that's about the only thing we don't do is, unless we know somebody in the gang that can draw. Like my gang, nobody in my gang can draw.
Well, most of the pictures you use are of Indians or Indian symbols.
Right. Most of the pictures is of Indians. Sometimes they use like leopards, tigers, buffaloes. Something that's portraying, to the Indian type thing, And we buy a coloring book, which we'll get a cowboy and Indian coloring book and pick some of the pictures out there that we like, and have somebody to draw it, and we'll beat it,
Have the sort of pictures and the way you beat things changed much since you were a kid? I know you've been doing this a long time. Have the ideas changed much?
The idea didn't change a whole lot. It's like the rhinestoning. The rhinestone work, when I first started messing in it, they did not rhinestone a whole jacket or apron. They used sequins. They did not do too much bead work. They used sequins on top of beads. Bead on top of sequins, to make the design. But like in the late 50s, they started using the rhinestones, and they started using the full bead designs. And right now we just left the sequins along and making everything rhinestone and bead work. It's hardly, like most of the tribes uptown, they rhinestone. They use rhinestone and they bead their patches. The downtown tribes is a different type of arranging and decorating than we do. They use mostly sequins. Plus they may use rhinestones or Lloyd stones or whatever, setting stone, but they use mostly sequins and beads.
So again, a little insight. Now, from the time that Bo was doing things, the art has expanded considerably, even his own work. And here's just a little 1 minute that I took of him. This is his Millennium outfit that he did for the turn of the millennium, 2001. On the streets, he got everybody to dress white. There's a couple of other colors, but wait till, this is his outfit, which he did himself, coming right up in just a second. Pretty outrageous little rig. But listen to the beats as we get out of this clip. Because I'm going to play a piece of music from Bo and the Magnolias that I actually commissioned them to do at the 1984 World's Fair. And they took an old traditional Indian song, Big Chief Like Plenty of Fire Water, and I guarantee that's the truth. And they turned it into an R&B tune. I got them together with the Neville brothers, who were actually connected to the Wild Chapatulas tribe, but their uncle, George Landry, had passed at that point. And so they got together with Bo, and they did this. A real translation of that Indian beat. Crank this, guys. You notice they're doing the same sort of call and response that Bo is doing here that he would do at Indian practice. Same kind of drum beat, same kind of call and response, and it takes itself over into being R&B and being New Orleans. The Nevilles were really among the people who started this thing happening, as far as connecting the music with the Indian call and response. And at one point, three of the brothers, Charles, Aaron, and Art, all lived with it right across the street from Benny's Bar. And their uncle, George Landry, who was Big Chief of the Wild Chapatoulas, also known as Big Chief Jolly, lived right next door to them. I went over and spent Lundi Gras with them in 1978 and then stayed up all night till they came to the patio, the bar that was their center, the next morning and got ready to go out. I think I did a little collage here from 1978 and 1984 so you could see a pretty good idea of how the run goes. They go out one person at a time, and you can see how they send out the flag boy, spy boy, the various chiefs in the middle of all this. And I'll let it run on just for a bit so you can see both years, 6 years apart, how the Indians, the actual procedure for them running on Mardi Gras Day. They run up from sunrise to sunup, sundown.
And as we sing these verses,
this is Joseph Bell, second chief of the Big Chapatoulas, Wild Chapatoulas.
And whatever positions are, that we're running. And then we get down into the chief, third chief, second chief, and Big Queen and the Big Chief.
What position do you run?
I am the second chief of the Wild Chapatoulas.
How long have you been running?
Oh, this is my 6th year.
6 year run? Far out.
Far out.
How long is the run that you go through all day?
Oh, we run from 8 in the morning until 6 at night.
Have you been training a lot for this, I think?
No. No.
A lot of the guys need to be training, bending their elbows a little bit.
Well, I've been working hard showing. So
how long did it take you to make yours?
Well, I've made 3 of these suits since the 1st of January. 3 suits and 7 crowns.
So on the top left, the Indians are reporting to the Big Chief, getting ready to start their run one at a time. Well, back in 1984, this is the Indians at about 4 a.m. doing Indian practice, getting psyched up to get ready to go out at sunrise and start the very same kind of a run. You can't really see it in the 84 shot, but behind us here, there are like 4 booths inside the bar, and in each booth, there's a sewing machine. So again, the chiefs go out with the staff. You'll notice in some of the newer footage, the staffs and the wings get so big that they actually have the second line, a second person running with them, sometimes 2 or 3 people, to carry the various parts of the outfit. After you run for about 15 miles, you get somebody else to carry the crown, someone else to carry the staff, so you make it through the whole day. So they're about to do the ritual to report in to the Big Chief. There's the Big Chief in gray. And here's the spy boy with a young kid to go out with him. Flag boy. You notice the bartering, the call and response thing back and forth. These are the uptown tribes, and though the downtown tribes have taken a lot more of an African look in their beadwork, the uptown tribes have now started actually doing makeup on their faces that's much more like primitive African tribes. You'll see that as we go through the years. This is the Big Chief. So you're hearing some of the Indian rhythms and things happening. One of the most famous adaptations of the Indian percussion was actually done by a person who wasn't a member of a tribe but always ran with them, and that's Professor Longhair, Henry Roland Bird. And on the night we did the Magnolias and Neville's, they played as a tribute to him Big Chief, one of the most famous Indian tunes. Again, a real intermix of the Indian percussion and New Orleans R&B. And I'm just going to play a few minutes of it because I know we're rolling fast here. But this is the Neville Brothers, 1984, playing Big Chief.
We're doing something right now. I'm going to tell you about this one. This is a song, some music that was left here by a very great man from right
By the way, you don't see Aaron Neville in hot pants very often.
He was in New Orleans, Louisiana. The late, great Professor Longhair. But I must let you know that he didn't leave nothing easy to play, and we're going to keep trying to play it as long as we can. We're going to do it like this one time.
I got to listen to that for a long time. I got an hour of that. I love it. I have to admit, though, this is all the kind of the bright side that was happening. Right when this was happening, we were getting through the last parts of the second day of the year that the Indians would parade on, and that would be St. Joseph's Night. And those were literally and figuratively a lot darker. The Indian tribes really didn't like outsiders coming around the tribes when they ran at night, and it was a tad spooky. The year before, someone from WWL had tried to turn on lights on Dryad streets on the group, and they didn't care for it much, and destroyed camera and kind of roughed up folks a bit. This is St. Joseph's Night. St. Joseph's Night now, for the most part, has been replaced by Super Sunday, which happens not long after St. Patty's Day, around mid-February. It'll be coming up shortly. And the Indians run during the day. Downtown tribes run starting on Bayou St. John. Uptown tribes run on Arthur Davis Park on Washington Avenue. And, blink, let's get rid of that. Let me, if it goes away. This is another uptown tribe. This is Donald Harrison. So we've seen the funk part of how the Indian stuff changes around. This is Donald Harrison, whose dad was Guardians of the Flame, absolutely. Was Big Chief of Guardians of the Flame, and now has his own tribe called Congo Nation. This was the year that he brought down famous percussionist Idris Muhammad to run with the Congo Nation, And I happened to be at Indian practice at Donald's house when it happened.
Concert for that record happened while I was out with my father on Mardi Gras Day, and we were out and he was singing and the drums were playing, and you know I play with Art Blakey and all these jazz drummers, so all of a sudden it's like lightning hits me and I'm hearing Art Blakey mixed in with what the Indians are doing, and so when I got home I started playing blues, which is like the synthesis of modern jazz that I was playing in New York with the rhythms down here, you know. But the key element of that is I was hearing that I could put this thing they call a swing beat in jazz, dang, 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 on top of what the Indians were doing. So I had this merger. So once the rhythms got together, then it opens up a myriad of possibilities for everything. You know, I can go here rhythmically or harmonically, everything, it opens up a whole new world. So it was like a whole new world opened up. So I got a lot out of being a Mardi Gras Indian and a jazz musician. Those two things merged together, opened up a new world.
This is at we've been seeing mostly uptown tribes up to now. This is another wonderful treasure. This is Sylvester Francis in the Back Street Cultural Museum, which is in Tremay. This is an incredible place. You have to listen closely to Sylvester's story. He made this little museum himself in an abandoned funeral home. He got into collecting all these Indian suits when one day, after working for weeks helping bead one of the big chief's outfits, he came across the next day, and in the pouring rain, the chief had come home drunk, and there was the whole outfit laid out in the front yard in the rain, and he decided that he should do something to preserve it.
This my little girl, and she matched with Victor. And she the little queen. This black and white picture. It's our great-great-grandmother in 1949. She was queen for the 8 war hunters. All Victor suit represent something from Africa. This suit here is a totem pole. The blue suit is a rhino. The gold suit is a unicorn. The blue piece up there is a 1990. But that blue piece, in a sense, is the cause of me having this museum. That particular year, I helped Victor to sew on that blue suit. And I sew all night, just like the song goes.
You see the detail in this? I mean, you know, you see it when it's human size and it's big, but now we're getting down and looking at square inches. Look at the detail. Look how much time this sort of thing takes. And yet, here are guys who don't have any formal design background or anything else, and this is a remarkable piece of art.
Carnival Day, I missed Carnival because I was tired from being up all night. So I didn't catch no Carnival in 1990. Okay, that's one part of the story. But what made this museum, about 2 months later after Carnival, I went to Victor's house. It had rained that whole week. And I went by Victor's house. That piece there was thrown away in the yard. And that's the first piece I picked up. And I kept saying, man, we got to do something about these suits. So that's how it started, that first piece up there. We named it the back street because where I was living at, it was way back of town on the back streets. So we kept saying in the little garage, nobody ain't gonna come back here and look at this. Nobody but the neighbors, because it was on the back street. Then the whole while I had the house and a little museum in the by my house. I was working for Rose Funeral Home. And Rose knew I'd do this. So when this place got open, empty, Rose had called me and asked me to go out and rent it. Because it was closing. It was closing the funeral home down. I've been following Indians all my life. We got a neighborhood effort. Carnival Day, it's about 5 Indians with fire, yeah. Okay, trooper, it's three Indians, fire, yeah, and 2 little kids, right? But we got 200 or 250 people follow us. See, we got the biggest posse, what we call, okay, because the whole neighborhood is, you know, is be behind us.
A wonderful gent. I have to tell you, and I wrote something about this in the paper the other day, but this one of the more touching things that has happened. I was at the Uptown Super Sunday about 7 years ago, and I heard this incredible voice that sounded something like Sam Cooke, this incredible voice. Saw there was an Indian chief in green singing the calls to the pieces, and just beautiful voice. And he was totally surrounded by the tribe and his family. I went up and shot some footage of him, and I could see it said R.I.P. son on the front of his headdress, and thought, another young man killed by one of the tribes, killed by one of the gangs. But he was singing so beautifully, I held the camera up over my head, over the people in front of me, and continued shooting. And then I went on and shot the rest of the day. Didn't look at the tape for about 2 weeks. Finally reviewed it, and it broke my heart. This is really rough footage. It really bounces around. I'm going to stop at about 1.5 minutes in when you get kind of the payoff. You can see the headdress here. Okay, this is where I'm raising the camera up over my head. You'll notice there are 2 young boys with the chief dressed the same way that he is, and they'll have the same apron on, which is kind of the reason for this thing, and then another young son who's all dressed in red, white, and blue. There you go. And that's how the son died. Not by the tribes here, but by the Sunnis and the Shiites. Really broke my heart. The guy was amazing. One of those moments that just happens. There, let me pop in a couple more. Hang on just a second. We're getting closing in here. Here we go. All right, in the neighborhood where I live, and you'll see some of these other folks, not like the mansion on St. Charles Avenue, there is this house. This is one of the wild men from one of the tribes in my neighborhood who's also a traiteur. And I thought it was an interesting contrast to the St. Charles. So here is a last little piece with Larry Bannock of the Golden Star Hunters.
My crowning glory is when them old people meet you on the porch and that old lady say, baby, you pretty. When you look at the ghetto, people back here, they're seeing death, they're seeing poverty, they're seeing everything. And just for a few hours, you their crowning glory. And it's like when you take the little children back from back here out, you make sure everybody get back home. We came as a family, we're coming back as a family. And the ones that drunk or whatever, you make sure they get home. It's like one thing, all of them are a part of you. That's your family that moment. Oh yeah, you the big chief. But the big chief is not nothing without his people behind him. My glory is when them little children running up and down the street, then took a piece of cardboard and cut it out to look like a crown on their head. Big chief, big chief. And that's my glory. In 52 years, heart attack, being shot, everything. They got more experts on us than us. It's like I tell them, I don't know if you ever heard about this guy called Alan Lomax. He's supposed to be this great historian on blacks. And like I told him, next time you want to talk about Mardi Gras Indians, go to the Indians. Go see one of these suits put together. Go there the night before Mardi Gras and see how he's walking on eggshells, trying to put this bad boy together. About 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you go to hearing the rooster crowing in your mind. You go to seeing, man, then you go to seeing the sun come up. And it's like tears coming out your eyes. I made this suit. I got an aunt that died. She flatlined the night before my Thanksgiving. They brought her back. She done flatlined twice. Now she's on a life support system. And I wasn't gonna mask. And my people kept saying, come on, Bannock, you need a mask. We need you. And it was the hardest thing in the world. Going to the hospital every night, every other night, going, seeing her with the life support and all the tubes in her. And all she could do, and you say, babe, I'm a mask, and she just, it's like on a dying bed, she give that little smile. And boy, you come home and you're so. But that's that love. And that's something very few people ever get a chance to experience something that they really love.
And that's it. Experiencing something you really love. It's a big, big part of New Orleans, Mardi Gras Indians. Thank you very much. You liked it? Well, it's sweet. I can't look at the guy in green.